Boom tubes. Let's start with the fact that these are NASCAR inspired boom tubes. Real boom tubes would have come off of a real cup car. There's a bunch of different variations of boom tubes. Some are small, some are huge, some are long, some are, whatever. There's a million, just depending on the generation of cup car. There are a few things that make them unique. One is the shape, which these do have, even though it's small. So yeah, one is the shape, which obviously, they're thin. These are Speedy's equipment boom tubes. I mean, the quality is really good, I do like the way they look. They are a little bit small. Typically these would be a little bit longer or wider, depending on the generation. The other thing that they don't have is on, I think, all of the boom tubes. They have the circles that are welded in that give it that Venturi effect. There's also, as you can see through this, you can see all the way through, and there's no baffle. So the real boom tubes would have had a baffle coming out of here. So that being said, there's only so many options you have. Either you go track down a real set of boom tubes, or what I thought I would do is, take somebody else's idea and just add the pieces that are missing. The baffle that's inside a real boom tube is similar to a chambered exhaust. No, they are not physically the same. They don't look the same. It does kind of slow the air down by grabbing it on the sides and giving it more of like a raspy note. The chambered exhaust basically does the same thing. It gives it definitely gives it a more raspy note. It doesn't grab the air as much as a baffle would, but it'll be similar. It'll be comparable to what a actual boom tube would sound like. So I think what we're gonna do is get chambered exhaust, cut it down, weld it to this, put it through the X pipe, and see what it sounds like. I mean, it should be close, so we'll see. All right, so today is welding day. We are welding boom tubes, an X pipe, putting the fuel tank together finally. We'll get the Speedy's equipment boom tubes, and we're gonna roll those into an X pipe. And then we finally got some of this stuff for the fuel system. This is the ring that we're gonna be putting on the fuel tank so that we can fit the 4th gen fuel pump module in it. Let's figure this thing out. So it'll probably be easier if I use the transmission jacks. All right, so I just need a straight for that, straight for that. Are you kidding? Dude, there's no way that's not going in. That's way better than what I would have done. Jeez.
And I'm gonna re-go over this too. This was the first stuff I did.
Yeah, dude, it looks like a puddle. It's awesome.
That should...
This isn't gonna work either. All right, so, blah! It'll work on these, but it will not work on the headers. If this will work or not. Might be all right. Might be all right. For this one, anyway. Fucking Amazon-ass clamps.
Yeah. Hey, if it's tight, it's tight.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I can go over it again if you want to.
Nah, absolutely not. That's going underneath the car. Nobody's going to see, so.
It was going underneath anyway.
Exactly. We don't care how pretty it is, man. We just don't want it to fucking leak.
Yeah. Is there a way we have to pressure test it, or? when there's gas in it.
Yeah, we gotta like put it up there and turn it on and hope it doesn't leak. Once we put the whole system together, I can pressurize this side with a boost leak checker.
Oh, yeah.
And so we could put like maybe like 5 pounds of pressure or something in there and just, you know, listen for it or put some soapy water down or something like that and we can check it. Ow, that's my fucking finger. Where's the thing? Out. Whoa!
Have it back up.
That's right. Woohoo! That's not the right sound.
No.
That wants to fall on the ground. Oh boy, it's about to fall. Get in there. Ah! Well, might need to fucking weld it after all. I turned it on, I promise.
My phone or should I connect it to mine?
No, connected to mine. Mine's better.
That? Okay, I had no idea.
All right. This one blows out here,
Yeah.
and this one blows out there.
Yeah.
Do one more solid coat on the fenders.
You do that.
Yeah.
There you go. Now it looks like spray paint.
Yeah, well, implode, yeah. It, like 70% of your safety equipment is you.
Okay, well, we have a conundrum. We did a quick job putting these things up in place with some half-assed exhaust hangers just to get an idea of where it's gonna reach and how close it's gonna be to the bottom of the car. If we left it like this and just put new hangers on it, it would be fine. I have to drop this side of the X-pipe just a tiny bit so that it's not hitting the floor pan. But that would raise that up a little bit and then these would be even. However, if we want to do any type of suspension mod at all, this is not going to work. What I mean by that, if we want to put subframe connectors on it, the subframe connector is going to go like this. This bolts up here, this hugs the body, and then you have this space, which is, you know, probably an inch and a half. That's going to be directly underneath the frame. You're going to have a space of, you're basically going to have a space of this much right here, across on the bottom here. This will have to come down that distance. And if you do that, a couple things are going to happen. Either you leave the X-pipe in the place that it is and you point them down, which is going to look stupid. The other thing is you can bring the X-pipe way down and aim it up, which I've seen people do. However, they're not doing it over subframe connectors. You're doing it under the stock body, so you don't have to bring it down that far. But you have to realize how long these things are, right? In order for it to have that shape. This has to come down 1.5 inches along with that. Then that has to drop down probably another 2 inches in order to get the angle. You're talking about literally bringing it down like, this far. And these tires are hanging right now. You know what I mean? It's not gonna happen. Like, we can start it up like this just so we can hear what it sounds like, so we can get the car running and check everything, but this is not gonna work. Because the other thing that we wanna do is, we were thinking about putting cowl tracks on, and to put a cowl track on, the front attaches to the front of the shackle, which is literally right here. You're gonna have a shackle come down to about here, somewhere right underneath here. That would mean that these have to move forward. And in order to move forward, you're talking about here, and then they position a little bit like that. So this would literally have to move back like from here to here. It's almost halfway up. It's not gonna look right. You know, these things always go in the back. If you have them in the middle of the car, it's just not gonna look right. The other thing we can do is defeat the purpose of the boom tubes, which is them coming out of the side, and just have them do the regular exhaust, have it come up over the rear end, drop down, come in like this, and then out here so that you have the angle for them to be flush up against the bumper. Could also cut them straight across and have them, you know, coming straight out like that. But yeah, I don't know what I want to do, because no matter how I think about doing it in the back, it's going to look stupid. And if I do it up there, I'm going to have to push it forward to clear the cowl track, and that's with dropping the X pipe down dangerously low in order to clear that. I mean, the other thing I could do is do a 4-link suspension, which I was planning on doing way down the road after we put forced induction in this thing, because the cowl tracks can handle a lot. They can handle what we're gonna throw at it, and it's obviously thousands of dollars cheaper. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it this way for now, put the fuel system in so that we can start it up. We'll start it up, run it, make sure everything's good, it's running right. I think I'm gonna wait. For now, I'm gonna leave it the way it is until we start it up. But after we start it up, I'm gonna have to tear it apart. Because these things, the old second gen F bodies have to have subframe connectors. They have to have it. I mean, you throw 400 horsepower at it and it torques the frame. Even with low horsepower, as soon as you hook up, the frame's like, meh. Typically when you find these cars, you look at them, they're a little tweaked in the front. I mean, it is what it is. All right, carpet's here, so let's get these tanks out. Okay, I think this is the bottom. So I got this carpet at OC Carpets. They have regular standard carpet, they custom make you carpet. They have a lot of options. It's a cool company. Okay. There's no nice way to put this. I f***ed up. I did not read the instructions, as I normally do not, and assume that I knew what I was doing. There's 2 different size rings. You have the big ring and then you have the small ring. I assumed that the big ring was what the fuel pump hat sits in, and then the small ring came down on top and compressed it, held it in there. Sort of true, but what you're actually supposed to do, which I'd have known if I read the instructions, is before doing this, you're supposed to cut a 3.875-inch hole in the tank, and then you put the ring on top of that. You know why? Because this is wider than that. So what ends up happening is this guy slides right in and is sitting on nothing, because the hole is wider than the actual hat. I have a second issue, which kind of makes this okay, because when I ordered this, I gave him the measurement, and I guess I was off by a little bit. So if this was to sit right here, it would bottom out. It would bottom out like the socks are, you know, hitting the bottom of the tank right now. So this does need to be raised like a tiny bit. So what I'm gonna do is, I ordered another kit of rings. I'm gonna put another ring on top of here, weld that on, and then this will sit in the right spot. You know, it'll sit somewhere up here like that. And then hopefully these studs are long enough that this little plan of mine is gonna work out. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully I luck out. Either way, this isn't gonna get finished this week anyway. I have the pump and the regulator and the filter and all that stuff, but I don't have the lines, and the fittings haven't gotten here yet. I can't install this thing anyway. Either way, this thing isn't starting up this week. So this will get finished next week when the parts come in, and then we'll finally start the car up.